Good morning, everybody. It's Brooke with Mrs. Cog Hill Farm, and I have got a wet, nasty mess today. I don't usually wear boots, but it's required today because we had quite a good rain last night, which is bringing in cooler air. I think just about everywhere in the country is going to experience some cold temperatures. So the first thing I'm going to do while I'm out here before the goats decide to go into the other pasture is shut this gate. And the reason I'm doing that is because Nugget and Goldie like to bed down in the straw where it's nice and cozy when the temperatures drop. And some of you already know that, but the pasture behind me, I usually open up when the weather's nice and let the goats and Matilda and Jessie and Honey have access to more area, and then the geese and the emus have the pond area, which is plenty of space for them to utilize. But get that open back up first thing, and then go open Nugget and Goldie's gate where they can get in their stall tonight, because y'all, they're saying for real it's gonna snow this time. Last time I think they were just trying to pull our leg. We were, all anticipating snow. The northern half of the state did get snow, but here in the central part of the state, we missed out on the snowfall. But this time they're saying even like the beach area, Gulf Shores, Pensacola, all that area may indeed get a snow covering, which is not happen very often around here. So Jason and I have some winterizing to do, but the temperatures are fairly mild today. I think the high tomorrow through Thursday is not going to get above freezing. So while it's mild, I'm going to go down to the backside of the property and do something that I've been interested in for some time. But Mr. Greg, his friend Lee, she has got me interested in finding artifacts and finding arrowheads and finding fossils. And it's something I have looked for on the top of the creek, on the surface of the creek, but I've never actually gotten a shovel and kind of like dug around. So she's got me interested. She showed me some of the things that she's found, and some of it has been found nearby our area in the creeks. So we're going to go down there and take a peek and see what we can come up with. Oh my goodness, who is that? Red? Red wants some loving this morning. As long as Tip doesn't get involved, we're okay. Right, buddy, you're so sweet. You're such a sweetheart. You, Curtis, Laura, even Bootsy, but oh, Tip, wherever he is, you gotta be careful. Oh, he's at the hay bale, we're safe. And I gotta show y'all Miss Matilda. Matilda's over there at what I call Jessie. Goodness, buddy, you're gonna knock me down. What I call Jessie and Honey's water. It's really everybody's water, but Jessie and Honey kind of claim it. Come here, girl, what you doing this morning? She's kind of got that foot relaxed, but she's still putting a lot of weight on it. And she's looking like she's in her teenage years. She's got those long legs and she's kind of awkward looking, but she's still beautiful to me no matter what kind of stage she's going through. Come on, girl. Come on. What you doing this morning? She was frisky earlier. She was frisky. Did you get you a drink of water? I bet you could walk with me down to the creek and we could search together to see what kind of goodies we could find. You up for that? Huh? You got water dripping off your face, sweetheart. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness, that feels so good, doesn't it? That feels so good. Yeah. Oh, you was fixing to kiss me, wasn't you? Huh? Ooh, that water's still dripping. Look at it. It feels so good. Yes, it does. It feels so good right there. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, you're such a sweet girl. Yes, you are. All right, y'all. Much as I love to visit with my critters, I got a lot of stuff to get done today, and I am bound and determined I'm going to look in that creek before the cold weather hits. I'm not going to want to put my hands down in there when the temperatures are not above freezing. So let's grab a bucket. I rode my tricycle, so that way I can carry some equipment back with me, and I'll see what else I can come up with, and let's go down to the back side of the property and take a peek. I may not find anything, but she told me to dig. I'll show y'all. I'll show you when I get down there. So y'all know I couldn't get far without my Secret Service dog here. It's, who are you anyway? It's Bandit. So I have a feeling Bandit's gonna go with me in the woods, and I'm glad because every girl needs a little protection, right, Bandit? And you're just the right man for the job. So when I'm on my way back towards the house, I'm gonna stop and open Nugget and Goldie's gate to be sure that they have access to the stall. It's, the temperatures are gonna start dropping tonight, so I want them to know that they have access early enough to come in and use the stall if they please. And nobody uses it for the most part. I let Snow White and the roosters out during the day, Snow White and the dwarfs, I should say. But they don't, Nugget and Goldie don't choose to sleep in there unless the temperatures get cold. So we found they prefer to, they've got a little spot over in the pasture up kind of close to the fence where they actually lay down for the night, and that's where they choose to sleep unless it's cold. And it's coming. It's gonna be cold. So on one of my last videos, I showed how Nugget showed out for Catherine when she came, and you know, kind of, well, it resulted in some behavior that we have never seen from him. But he has not done that with me. And I'm thankful for that. And Catherine's theory is that he may look at us as a member of his family. And therefore, you know, we're not to be used as his mate. I don't know what his thinking is, but he hasn't done it with me. And I hope he doesn't start anytime soon. I do have earrings in, but I don't plan on spending a lot of time over here because, as I told y'all, when he's exhibiting this behavior, I just don't want to take a chance of him thinking that I am indeed his mate. So I'm going to open the gate, and I'm not scared of him by all means, but I also don't want him to feel like he can use me in the same way he did Catherine. All right, buddy, where is Goldie this morning? Huh? Your neck is long and stretched out. Are you going to go into this pasture immediately, or are you going to follow me around? We got to open the gate this way. You know that. We always open the gate this way. Oh, there she is. Here she comes down the hill. And I always put a stick here to keep this gate propped open. Ugh, a stick about got me propped open. Good morning, beautiful girl. What you doing? Now, he has been following me pretty close behind when I come in the pasture, which that's fine. I mean, well, if he wants to follow me, that's fine, but I'm not stopping, and I'm not giving him a chance to see me as his mate. Get your gate shut here. Yeah? I'm glad you hadn't figured out how to open this gate. I sure am. Well, here she comes. That didn't take long. Y'all know the gate's open, and the stall will be opened. So when that cold weather hits, buddy, you'll be protected. What you got in your hair? Oh, just some water? Yeah, just some water. All right, well, you keep on showing us how your yoga goes by stretching out and extending those muscles. He's going on about his business. He's not concerned about me. She's making her drumming sounds, and he's making his grunting sounds, burping sounds, whatever you want to call it. I told y'all that wouldn't take long. I'm all the way to the fruit orchard, and the boys don't move real fast. I mean, Holly's got 10 steps ahead of them. She's fast. The boys, on the other hand, are not so fast, but they knew where I was going, and they were not going to let me go alone. So it looks like I am going to have some company. Right, Bandit? I thought I lost a shovel. I didn't. The handle's in my basket, and I thought I was missing one, but I'm not. All right, I gotta be careful. Both hands on the wheel, Brooke. Y'all see Bandit? Y'all know what he's doing? I just saw a squirrel, and I really don't know that he's ever seen a squirrel before. We don't have very many squirrels here. At the old farm, they were everywhere. But I saw a squirrel when I got close with my tricycle, and he saw it too. And it must have went up that tree because he's on guard. He sees something he's never seen before, and he wants to make sure that squirrel doesn't get his mama. I don't think you got anything to worry about there, buddy. Yeah, that squirrel, he's just looking for a nut. He's not gonna get me. Where'd he go, Bandit? He's a really, really alert dog. And I don't know if because Rocky had such a rocky start in life, it's one of the reasons that he just doesn't seem to have the energy that Bandit does. He's not nearly as alert. He's not nearly by my side as much as Bandit is. But needless to say, I'm happy he's here. He's just a different personality. Just like people, you know, there's two brothers and they have totally different personalities, and that's definitely the case with Rocky and Bandit. And again, it may be because of his rough start in life. I'm on a rough road right now. Here they come. It didn't take long. They realized I was leaving the spot. There's Miss Pink, my sweet little loving barn cat Pink. She's a joy, but she's a mysterious joy. It just always worries us that she doesn't leave this area. She wants to be down here. We've tried, even at the old farm, Mama tried to bring her in her house, and Pink went in that house and went right back out and told her real quick, this is not what I want to do. So we know that this is where she wants to be. I have a, it's designed for pets. It's like a heating pad for humans. Here, I'll show you. So this is a heated pet mat. And we have it plugged in down here at the barn. Of course, it's a little dusty, but Pink lays on this. And we come down here and give her can of food, which that's what she likes. She has access to, here you go, baby. She has access to dry food up at the house. So I have two utensils here. One of them's just a short handle shovel, and the other one is like a sifter shovel. One of our nice followers sent us this sifting shovel, and I got kind of interested in searching for shark's teeth when we went to the beach one time, and somebody said that this shovel is what I needed to search for the shark's teeth. And I mean, the whole trip, of course, we did things we enjoyed, but when we were on the beach, I searched for shark teeth the entire trip. And I never found one. So they thought that by giving me this shovel that it would enhance my chances of finding shark's teeth. I haven't been to the beach since, but I do betcha that I'm going to look for shark's teeth on our next visit to the coast. So you can see that I'm just walking into the woods from the barn, and I looked for something just now that I was going to share with you guys and show you, but I couldn't find it. And it's a hose. It's like a rubber hose that runs underground. It may have been on top of the ground and then the leaves started covering it up. But it goes from the area up there where the barn is, not exactly where the barn is, but we have a pile that we used to burn scrap wood and such. And that hose kind of comes up right there. I thought I could find it right here, but I can't so far. But anyway, so that hose runs from up there. And I'm going to show you where it comes out at. And this is the reason that we're wanting to clean the woods up. I can't get my tractor through here. It's too thick for me to get my tractor through here. That tractor's wide. These woods are dense. And without cutting a trail with a chainsaw and whatnot, I would be getting hit and whacked in the face with limbs. So that's got to be done first in order to get the tractor back here. But here I am to the first little wet area where an underground spring is. Not too far. I mean, you can see behind me. I think you can anyway. The building, the barn, back behind me. We're not too far. We're probably 75 yards from the barn. And when we bought the property, this was back here. And off of this tank, I'm going to call it. Where is the hose? I think the hose is on the other side. You can see it's got a valve on it right here. This valve cuts on and off, and it has a pipe fitting right there. I don't know if that's any kind of indication as to what it may be, but on this side is where you can see there's an underground spring right here. If the leaves hadn't fallen off the trees, it's clear. It's really clear. Ooh, what is that? What in the world is that thing? Do y'all see it? I mean, I know a salamander, but that's weird. What is that? I guess it's just a root with some kind of something growing on it. Huh, interesting. I'm not too worried about snakes right now because if they are moving, they're going to be slow. We've had several freezes and I'm watching my step. But here's the back side of this tank, I'm going to call it. And this is the other side. The valve's on the front side. So this is the hose. Woo! Stuck my finger on a thorn. Ugh. This is the hose. You could see the hose is rotted off there. But this hose goes down into the water down there. Now maybe they were just using it to pump water somehow up to the barn. But that's not my thinking. My thoughts are that they were making moonshine. I've never made any moonshine, nor have I ever drank any moonshine. But to me, this may be what it was used for. Now, I need you guys to tell me if you think this is what this was. This valve over here, where there's nothing connected now, is where the hose ran all the way up to the barn. So I'm thinking that they were using that creek water. I do like to watch the TV shows about making moonshine. I'll confess that. I like to watch the shows about it, but that doesn't mean I drink the moonshine. It doesn't mean I make the moonshine, because that's not the case. But I do know that a lot of people use fresh spring water, and that's what this is. It's spring water. It comes up out of the ground. So it's the best water you can get, and I don't know. I just don't know. They could have been using it to water the animals. And then again, what kind of pump is here to get the whatever they were using up there? Is this a pump? Does this tank have some kind of pump inside of it? I've often wanted to come get my tractor and get this out of here, but like I said, you can see that the trees are just too close together. May not even show up on the camera, but I can't get my tractor through here. Not without limbs hitting me in the face and coming back with some sores on me. But we do plan to start working on the property. We had the Forestry Commission come out and take a look, and he did think that, you know, some of it would burn, but the most beneficial thing for us to do, in their opinion, is to just kind of make smaller areas and just start cutting down with a saw. Just start cleaning it up and starting to take our land back to where it can be used. Now, this is part of that branch that comes over here to the tank. You can see right there, that's the end of it. But these little underground springs, they're everywhere, and they create little areas of a stream. There's an old tire right there. So the water opportunities are endless. However, that's probably the closest underground spring to the barn or to a building, so they wouldn't have had to carry it too far. Now turn around and come on this side, and this is where this is what I consider the creek. It's a bigger branch, and it does split off and goes up into the little underground springs again, just like it did back there. But Lee, Greg's friend, who is very knowledgeable about finding artifacts, she calls it an addiction. It's not a bad addiction to have, but she calls it an addiction. And she told me to look for a rock catch. And what a rock catch is just an area where the rocks have caught. And there's one right there in front of us. You can see, I mean, there's leaves everywhere, but let me move some of this out of the way and you'll see that this is just a sandy bottom. There's no rocks right there. That's a muddy, sandy bottom. But this right here is a rocky area. And I'm glad I brought my boots. So, like I said, I may not find anything, but she told me to dig down about a foot or so and just look through it and see what I find. And I may do that in several spots today because, like I said, the weather's warm and I'm not going to be out here doing this when it's freezing cold. Obviously going to have to touch it with my hands, but I'm interested to see what I can come up with. And Lee is too. I've offered for her to come and dig here and see what she can find, and we're going to do that. But today I may not have to dig very much. Bandit likes to help. May can get him over here to dig. But today's going to be my first dig to see if there are indeed any old arrowheads, fossils. I mean, there's anything. I don't know what I'm going to find. I might not find anything but a bucket of rocks, but I'm very interested because I've never done this. I've always just looked on the top. Every time we walk this creek, my eyes are peeled, I'm open, I'm looking, but I've never dug down to see if I can find anything. So y'all, let's dig. I told y'all my boy was gonna come help me. So I'm gonna do just what Lee said, and that is just dig down a little bit. And I'm gonna get my sifter here. Now she didn't tell me to do this because she doesn't use this, but I am going to put what I found in the sifter and hopefully have enough water to kind of run it through. And I should have brought a smaller shovel. Feel like I'm looking for gold. If I find some gold, that'll be wonderful. But I think I didn't do the right thing here. I think I didn't bring I should have brought a smaller shovel. So what I may do is just take me a couple of shovels and put them on the land and then search through them. Let's see what we got, buddy. You think we got anything? Huh? Let's see. Ooh, there's a something. What is that? What is that? It's not a snake, is it? What is that? Ooh, bandit. What is that? He's just wiggling. I don't know what that is. I think it's a baby salamander. Yep, that's what it is. All right, he needs to go back. He needs to go back. Well, he's trying to dig down in the dirt. All right, got him out of the way. So some of y'all may be saying, ooh, I wouldn't be touching that. But not me. I'm going to dig. I should have let her show me what to do. She's just got me so interested that I want to find something so bad. When our house was being built, Brent did the work, and his helper, Dude, is what they called him, found the airhead right there in the back area. So I know that there's definitely some artifacts here. And it may take me a lot of digs and a lot of shovelfuls of dirt to actually find anything. But she said once I find what I'm looking for, once I see the shape and I see the and she, like I said, she showed me some of the stuff that she has found. But once I see what I'm looking for, then I will know more about what I'm doing. There we go. That's how you do it right there, Brooke. Just like you're panning for gold. I am panning for gold. Panning for artifacts. If I find something, I just want to find one thing. What is that? Well, I dug through about 6 shovelfuls, I guess, and I found a couple of things. Show them to you. Nothing that's indicative to me that it's a old arrowhead, but it may be. I'm gonna let Lee look at it. This is the first one. It's kind of an odd shape. It looks like it may have been something that just broke. Not necessarily an arrowhead, but this may have been a piece of one. And she did tell me that it's easy to break them once they've been in the water for a long time. So she uses a hand trowel, but I'm a newbie. I need this to go fast. I need to find something, and I need to keep myself interested. That's not the last of the reason that I think there may have been moonshine being made. Gonna stop at a couple more spots and try to find something while I'm on the way to the second location of where something else is that makes me think this may have been a moonshining place. And I don't care if it was or wasn't. I mean, it makes no difference to me, but I am curious to know if that's what it was. So this is even a better spot for what she was referring to as a rock catch, I think. It's just an area where a lot of rocks accumulate, so I'm gonna give it a go. See if I can find something here. Got some deeper water to sift through. Hey, buddy, what you doing? Huh? Amanda, you smell like a wet dog. Does that mean you're wet? Where's your brother anyway? It's just a broken rock. I imagine it could get frustrating real easy too, as you could dig all day and not find anything. I just should have let Lee come with me, and they had something planned today. But she has invited me to go with them on a dig, and I think that will probably give me some training. I just knew I was going to find something right on the surface. Especially since it rained last night. When it rains, it has a tendency to bring things that aren't exposed. Wow, have I hit I can't even remember what I called it, a rock, goodness, what did she call it? I said it several times and now I can't remember what she calls it. But let me show y'all. This is definitely a rock catch. Easy enough. This is definitely a rock catch. So this is a part that things that are heavier are going to accumulate. And the water's very clear right here, so I'm just going to look on the surface and see if I can't come across anything without digging. Oh, look. It goes on up. And it could be tiny, it could be big. Gee, look, y'all. when Lee sees this, she's gonna be amazed. And that's what people that don't know what they're looking for pick up, rounded rocks. But look at all the rock. I've never paid any attention to the areas where rocks accumulate before until talking to her. But it's beautiful. And this is one of the, not to dig for artifacts, but this, having access to this creek through the thick woods is something that we have wanted to do since we bought this property. And we kind of finally feel like we're in a position with having our animals situated and just about all the fencing that we want to have done, and can work on some things that were our goals when we purchased the property. But I may be onto something here. I may be spending a lot of time back here, especially if I bring Lee back here and she finds something and shows me how to look and where to look. See, that looks like a tooth of some sort to me, and it's nothing but a little rock. We're going to go back and we're going to look at the second indicator to me as to what this property was used for, possibly in the past. I found a spring that I wanted to show y'all where it just comes up out of the ground. And this is what we were hoping for when we dug our pond. We didn't find any. However, Mr. Butch across the road that we tried to save the little calf, he has several ponds on his property, and he hit underground springs. And you can see this one's not very deep. I mean, the surface of the earth is right above us, and probably 2 foot down, there's an underground spring. It didn't happen in our pond, but we were hopeful. Well, I made a few stops on the way to my destination, and I didn't find anything that I think is worthy. But it is something I'm interested in. And I want to know what y'all think about that tank back there, because there's another one over here that's similar, but a little bit different. Now, something else I'm interested in that I don't feel comfortable enough to ever gather them. I do have some books on mushrooms, but I don't feel confident enough in looking at them and identifying them to possibly eat. Here's one right here. It's probably just like a shelf mushroom, but it's growing right here on a piece of stump. Mushrooms are definitely an interest to me, but I just don't think I'd ever be comfortable enough to gather them and indeed put them in my body. You don't know. If you don't know what you're doing, you could end up in the hospital, I imagine, rather quickly. But Mr. Greg made us this trail, and this was done by his bulldozer, and it cleared out quite an area, which it's wet back here when you get close to the creek. So we don't want to bring a bulldozer in to just take out everything. That's not the goal. But he pushed some of the trees aside, and you can see this is also down by the creek, y'all. And it's got that outlet, that pipe, and it's a lot smaller than the other one. But I tell you, I don't know, and it's heavy. This one's a lot heavier than the other one. It's got some kind of strap around it. It looks like maybe is that some kind of way to open the thing? Well, that's got me interesting. What is that? I don't know, but I sure could get my tractor back here and get this one out of here. It's got an outlet on it. I don't see any piping. And this may not have been where it originally was. It may be that I can't move it. It may be that Mr. Greg pushed it over here when he was doing the excavating. But that's a solid hunk of steel. I mean, it sure doesn't need to be sitting back here. If we can't do anything with it, then it's a hunk of scrap metal that'll bring in a little feed for the animals. But y'all let me know, what do y'all think of these tanks out in the woods near a stream with an outlet. I need to get this one out of here and see the other side of it. Looks like it opens up to me, but what do I know? Do y'all think that this Cog Hill Farm was a moonshine farm at one time? Or do you just think that it was used to bring water up to potentially water animals? I don't know. I don't know. But I know one thing. I know I'm interested in finding artifacts and finding out history, and if there were indeed, it's called Indian Creek that runs through here. So, you know, you have to imagine at some point there were people that resided and lived on this creek, and there's no telling what's in there as far as artifacts go. But y'all tell me what you think about the possibility of moonshine being made, and give me a bit of your snow. If you've got some you can spare, they're saying it's coming Tuesday. Give me a little bit of it if you can spare it. Oh, and I also needed to tell you guys that my colonostomy went smooth. It was a piece of cake. No polyps were found. I don't have to go back for 10 years, and I am very thankful for that. So thank you to all that reached out and said good luck, and I appreciate it. But hopefully y'all see me on a sled building a snowman in the next video, and y'all stay tuned. I appreciate each and every one of you, and y'all be good.